Hello YouTube, this is TheFlamingSpade here with a battle for the PokeMoshPit, and a few words about myself. I am Finnish, so that's why I have this accent, and when it comes to competitive battling I usually like to run some custom sets to surprise my opponent. But anyways, this was a standard OU match against FrostyPixie, who is also a member of the Moshpit, so let's begin. So, she leads off with Machamp, I lead off with Drifblim, my NU guy, I go straight for the Will-O-Wisp, and I totally forgot about Lumberry. That's why these Machamp leads are so dangerous, and she's gonna hit me with Payback, and that's easily going to take down my Drifblim, but at least I burned her Lumberry and I get some aftermath damage, so it wasn't a total waste of a turn. But now it's time to bring the big guns, so I go into my Metagross and I go for the Meteor Mash. And she switches, goes into her Rachi, but since I'm banded it should still do a nice chunk. And I end up getting a crit right here, but I don't really feel bad because you can hack the Hex Gods. There's nothing wrong about that. And she's gonna hit me with Fire Punch and it does like nothing, and I go for Mash and it's gonna take down the Rachi. So down it goes, and now she's gonna go into her Swampert, yeah, and I'm gonna switch. I go into my Skarmory and she goes for Stealth Rocks, and I figure she's gonna go into some sort of counter, so I go for Whirlwind, but she goes into her Snorlax. Not sure why, cause there's not really much that Snorlax can do to a Skarm. So in comes the Machamp, I go for Brave Bird. She stays in, which is good for me, and it doesn't quite take her out cause my Skarmory is especially bulky. It doesn't have any attack EVs. And she's gonna hit me with Dynamic Punch. I still take it like a champ, and I'm gonna try to hit through the confusion as she goes for BP. So I hit through the confusion, that's good for me. Down goes to Machamp, which is awesome for me because my late game sweeper is weak to fighting. So yeah. And now she's gonna go into her Starmie, and I'm gonna switch into my Swampert, thinking she might go for the T-Ball, but instead she goes for the safe Surf, which is good for her, and she ends up getting a crit here. So I'm just gonna leave Swampert here as a death fodder, and she goes for the Grass Knot, so that's really good for me, cause now I know it's not a choice set. And I go into my late game sweeper, which is Snorlax. And she switches, goes into Togekiss as I go for Stockpile. And I'm still fearing that this might be a Nasty Plot set, so I get out of there. I go into my Skarmory as a death for it, and she goes for the safe Aura Sphere, which is good for me. And down goes my Skarm, and I'm gonna get a safe switch into my Metagross here. And I go for the trick here, cause looking at her team I can pretty much cripple everything she has. So in comes the Snorlax, which is a Curslax set, so that is awesome for me. She is not gonna be able to set up now. And she goes for Body Slam as I missed my Mash, but she doesn't get a Parahack, so that's good for me. I go for Mash again, but now she switches, goes into her Swampy. And now my Metagross has already taken down the Rachi, and it has crippled the Snorlax, so I can safely go Boom here, cause that's the easiest way to get rid of the Swampert, which can be a pain in the ass. So down goes the Swampert, and down goes my Metagross, so it's a double knockout, so to speak. And I go into my Gallade now, and she goes into her Starmie. She switches, I guess fearing the possible Night Slash or something, and I get a free Swords Dance on the switch, which is good for me. And I go for Psyp here to scout what move will she lock herself into, and it's Crunch. And this is a point where I should have got greedy, cause I could have gone for another Swords Dance, but instead I went for the Drain Punch just to take the sucker out. So down goes the Snorlax, and now I think she's gonna go into her Togekiss. Yep, and she goes for the T-Wave, which tells me this is most likely not a Nasty Plot set. So that is good for me. I go for Drain Punch, and this is where the other Swords Dance would have been really handy. But now she's just going to Air Slash flinch me to Oblivion. And yeah, here comes the Air Slash, and here comes the flinch. and I do have Steadfast, but it's not gonna help me because I'm paralyzed. So another air slash will take me out, which sucks, but I do have my Snorlax, so I'm not too worried. So here comes Snorlax, and she's gonna go for the T-Wave. I'm not too worried because Snorlax is already so slow, but I do get the Parahax, which sucks. But I'm not too worried. I should be able to take a few Aerospheres quite easily. So here comes the Aerosphere, and it doesn't do too much, even though I don't have any special attack EVs, special defense EVs that is, and I get Parahax again, which is hilarious. So here comes the Aerosphere again. But you know, I can take a couple of those. But I get Parahaxed again for the 3rd time in a row. So if I get Parahaxed one more time, it's game. So Snorlax, do something, please. And here comes the Aerosphere, and I leave it with 80 HP, and I go for rest. Phew. That was a close one. So I'm gonna get all of my HP back slowly. So now I'm back to full HP, and I get rid of the annoying Parahax, which is good for me. So I just have to burn a couple of turns of sleep here, and she goes for Air Slash just to see how much it would do. I burn another turn of sleep, and now she's gonna stick with the Aerosphere, seeing that Air Slash does nothing. So now I'm gonna wake up here, and I get up a stockpile, which is good for me. I need to set up so that her Aerospheres won't be doing anything, because that's the safe way to win here. And she goes for T-Wave. Luckily for me, I don't get Parahax this time. So I get up my second stockpile, and she's gonna keep hitting me with Aerosphere, I think. Yeah, here comes another Aerosphere, but it does even less than the last turn, which is good for me. And now I am at three stockpiles, so I'm like fully set up with those, and that's good for me. And here comes another Aerosphere, and I think I'm gonna start attacking her with Body Slam. And I am of course after the Parahax here, but I don't get it, which is unfortunate. And she keeps on spamming the Aerosphere, and she doesn't get a crit this whole time, which is awesome for me. And I go for Body Slam, and this time I end up getting the Parahax, which is good for me. And I'm hoping for some Parahax, because she Parahaxed me twice in a row, so to speak. And she does have the Roost, which sucks for me. And I go for Body Slam. But this looks like this could be a long Star War, cause Body Slam looks to be a 4-hit KO. So I gotta find a way to boost my attack 4 times. So I go for rest here, get all of my HP back, and again I get rid of the Parahax, so that's good for me. And now I am able to outspeed the Togekiss, which is awesome for me. And she goes for Aerosphere, and it does absolutely nothing. After 2 lefties, all the damage will be undone. So she goes into her Starmie now, because she doesn't really know what to do. She is just hoping to get some special defense drops with Psychic, but she doesn't get it, and I go for Belly Drum, which is my final move. And with Belly Drum, my attack is now over 1000, and my defenses after the stockpiles are over 600. So she is not gonna be able to do anything to me, and I go for Body Slam, and that's easily going to take down the Starmie. And now all she has left is the paralyzed Togekiss, so I'm just gonna Body Slam for the win, and that's a good game, FrostyPixie. It was a fun close match, 1-0. And if you wanna see more battles from me, feel free to check out my channel, TheFlamingSpade, and also remember to check out my opponent's channel, FrostyPixie. The links will be found in the description. So thanks for watching the Mosh Pit, and this is TheFlamingSpade signing out. Peace.